So I just got done playing the ARMS Global Test Punch about a half an hour ago as of this recording. Obviously this video is going up later, but yeah. So I'm going to talk about the good and the bad. Let me just say, ARMS, in case you were like worried that I have strayed from my excitement from it, that is not the case. I am still so very, very excited for the game. It does have a few problems. Yes, it's not perfect. But then again, as amazing as Splatoon was, Splatoon had problems when it came out too. That game wasn't perfect either. And I love Splatoon. I cannot wait for the sequel. Just like I can't wait for ARMS. I did try both the motion controls with the Joy-Cons. That's actually what I started off with. I did about maybe a half an hour with the Joy-Cons, and I did the other half an hour with the Pro Controller. I tried out all 7 of the characters available, and I was able to play 1v1s, 2v2s, 4-player free-for-all, 3-player free-for-all, the V-ball mode. I did 1v1 V-ball mode, 2v2 V-ball mode. So I mean, I did pretty much everything. I did the training with the test dummies. Like I said, I did the basic training when you first started, of course. The only thing I really didn't do is I didn't do 2 players on one Switch. I didn't have anyone that could come by today and do that. So yeah. But anyways, what I liked about the game, I love the game in general. The art style is amazing. The music's really good. The gameplay is really top notch. The gameplay is top notch. It's very, very simple, and at the same time, it's very hectic. It's got a lot of depth to it. So if fighting game fans, I don't know how many hardcore fighting game fans are going to give it a chance, because they might look at it and be like, oh, it's just some weird whatever Spring Arms cartoony game, whatever. But it's got a lot of depth. I would even argue that it's got, in some areas, more depth than games like Smash Brothers. I feel like this is more competitive than a party game like that. But you know, again, it's just a first impression. There is a big learning curve with the gameplay in general. Big learning curve. After a while, like throughout the hour, I was starting to get it. At first, I was like, okay, like this is fun, but I'm really not like doing my punches, especially with the motion controls. Motion controls are the biggest learning curve. I love them. I love the motion controls. They're very, very fun. They are really good. They are very accurate. But that's the problem, is that they are really accurate to the point that every single thing you're doing, every direction is just, it's all over the place. And for a game like this, it's going to take a lot of practice with the motion controls to get really good with that, get at them. And especially me, like I love fighting games, but I'm not good at them. So that's also, I have a handicap for that. A lot of people who love fighting games are really, really good at them. And me, I love fighting games, but I'm not so good at them. I'm just, you know, I'm just not. But I still love them. I play them. So really what it boils down to is there's a lot of people online that you could tell were using motion controls, and they were doing them really well. And I was using the motion controls, and I was doing them very terribly. Granted, there are other factors. Obviously, some people, I guess, like I said, some people might just be better tuned to that. Some people might just be more hardcore fighting game junkies in general. There's also the fact that there's been like 3 different, I want to say 3 different test punch times before this one. This is the first time I played. So there may have been people I played that had been playing since yesterday, all 3 times. Well, now 4th one, I should say. So they've probably gotten more accustomed to it than I have. Probably once I get the game, or you know, and I play some more, I'll definitely pick up on the motion controls. I can already tell though, because I did the second half hour with the Pro Controller. The Pro Controller, yes, there are some things that are a little bit easier with the motion controls, but the whole experience in general is a lot more smoothed out with the Pro Controller, at least from my perspective. It's good and bad, because at the same time, like it's good because going into the game, I was excited for the motion controls, but at the same time, I was hoping that I would still be able to play, you know, the different control schemes, because there might be some times where I like to play motion controls, and might be some times where it's like I come home from a long day of work, you know, I don't want to like stand up and swing my arms around too much. I just want to, like, you know, relax on the couch, play a game, play a couple matches. So it's like in that perspective, that's great because it gives me that extra control. It's not just a straight motion control only experience. The downside is I really was looking forward to the motion controls. I really, really was looking forward to them. And not that they're bad, again, because the initial trailers and just what people were doing at demo events and stuff, it looked so fun. And it is fun. But I don't think, at least not until I get a ton of practice in and really can get attuned to the controls and exactly how they flow, I'm not going to be able to take the motion controls online. So I think I'm going to stick to the Pro Controller. I might do the Joy-Con grip. I actually did not check out the Joy-Con grip, but it's probably the same as the Pro Controller. I didn't do the Joy-Con, single Joy-Con on its side. I didn't do that, so I might I might try that. But Pro Controller, I'm probably going to be taking online for a long time. Once I eventually get accustomed to the motion controls, after I get the game, I might use those online. Motion controls are pretty much going to be for more like digging around, like in the single player and practice modes and versus modes and stuff like that. But online, I'm pretty much going to be running Pro Controller. Like I said, unless one of the other control types are better suited for me, or if motion controls I eventually get a handle on them. Now, the stages they selected, I like them. I like how you can really tell there's different themes going on. The labs one is really cool, how you really got to go around those test tube beams, but at the same time they're breakable, which I really like. I really like breakable areas in stages and fighting games. Like a lot of other games do that. Some of the Dragon Ball games do that. I know Dead or Alive has done that. So it's like to see that as an element in this game is a really welcome addition. I like that. I like breakable objects in the maps. The main fighting map is a bit bland, I will admit. I like the one ninja map. I totally forgot what it was called, but I like it because it's literally just one longer. It's a more longer, thinner, but sort of steep, sloping stairwell area, or staircase area, I should say. A lot of steps up to like the ninja temple or whatnot. So it's varied, which I like. I do feel like they could have gone a little bit more better stage selection for the global test punch because they chose those 3 stages. We know there's other stages. We know there's the ramen bowl stage. We know there's the one that has a big trampoline in the middle that you can throw people on and bounce them around. And then we do know there's the one that I think is supposed to be Cobra Kid stage, the one where you're on the spinning tops. A lot of those stages are a lot more varied, and I feel like some more of those should have been included in the test punch to at least show more varied stages in this demo. Instead, the stages came off as kind of, I don't know, like not basic, but it definitely wasn't as varied as it could be. And again, to people who don't keep up with it, who just downloaded it and played it randomly, they're gonna be like, oh, the stages aren't as varied, So I feel like that was something they did drop the ball in. Not that I hate the stages, although, like I said, the main arena stage is a little bit bland, but you have that in all fighting games, You can compare it to the Final Destination and Smash Brothers, So, but they were still good stages. Like I said, I really liked the Helix Labs or whatever it was called, and then I did like the Ninja one. Yeah, the characters, I will say, Springman, he's like the Mario character. He's balanced. You can always pick up and play. He's really good. Ribbon Girl is actually really good as well. Ribbon Girl is a lot like Springman, but at the same time, she's got a lot of her own variables. She's really fun to play as, really floaty all over the place. I like her a lot. The Mummy Man, not so much. He's too much of a tank for me. And I mean, I do like tank characters if they're made to a certain degree. Just the Mummy Man, he didn't flow for me. Mechanica was all right. I didn't mind Mechanica. She was pretty cool. Or is it a he? I really don't know. But all I know is Mechanica's the one with the yellow robot. And then trying to think. Helix was the one I really want to try out. Helix is really fun, but he's not as fun as I thought he'd be. I thought he'd be very flexible, and he is to a certain degree, but his dodging is a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit off for me. I don't know. It's off compared to the other characters. The other characters have a straightforward dodge. His seems more like a, I don't know, like a side liquid step thing that he does. It's kind of weird. It's just different compared to other characters, which isn't a bad thing. Once I get used to him, it might be better. But he looks still pretty good. Not as good as I thought he'd be, but he's still pretty good. And then who else was there? Min Min. Min Min was really amazing. Min Min, I really loved using Min Min. Min Min was really, really cool. And then there's Ninjara. Ninjara was alright. Yeah, I liked him more than the Mummy Man. I didn't like him as much as Spring Man and Ribbon Girl and Min Min. He was alright. He was just alright. Yeah. And like I said, there's a lot of depth with it. I like the items popping up in the middle of the match, but I wish there was a little more variables with the items. I also, the explosion bomb thing, I like that item a lot, but at the same time I hate it. And the reason for that is I feel like, anyone can set that off. You just gotta hit it, and it sets it off. It'll start blinking, then it blows up within like 2 seconds. My problem with it is anyone who gets caught in the blast radius, anyone, even the person who set it off, gets like stunned for a while, and you move a lot slower. You can't really punch a whole lot, and it's just like, my problem with that is I feel like if I took the extra effort to curve one of my punches to hit that thing, I feel like I should be exempt from that explosion. That's just me, but so it kind of breaks up the flow of the game when that thing happens to hit down, because you realize, okay, doesn't matter what combo I'm in, doesn't matter what I'm doing with this person in front of me, I gotta hit that thing and then immediately stop what I'm doing and dodge, get all the way back out of here just to avoid the explosion. So that kind of takes me like out of the fight, if you will. So that it's kind of weird, I'm trying to think what else. There's so much stuff like running through my head about this game right now. The depth, the actual depth of the combat, there's a lot of depth to it, a lot of depth. Using your arms, you really got to know when to use your arms, and again, some of them have more of a learning curve, where some of them are really good, like especially like the dragon ones, the ones that utilize the laser. You literally have to direct the dragon, and then when it starts firing the laser, then you have to direct the laser, and you got to really learn how to do that. But once you can, because I was learning it as I was playing, you can really cover some ground with that. So it's like there's a lot of different strategies you can do. The supers, the specials, I like them. I feel like they could do a little bit more, but at the same time, I'm glad I would rather have them do less than do too much, because I don't want something too overpowered that would break the game, especially since it's kind of looking like the way you get your specials is a lot like games like Pokken Tournament, for example, where your meter will fill up whether you get hit or whether you do hit the other opponent. So it just fills up gradually, depending on contact. And so it's so definitely like you could easily be beating the crap out of someone, and their meter will still fill up, and then they'll just they would do a big overblown move. So I'm glad that they didn't make the moves overblown, because again, that could just it keeps the game more on a skill level instead of just like a Mario Kart type level or what have you. So I can appreciate that. I really can. The party mode with the different lobbies, that is exactly what I thought it would be, and I am not disappointed. I love that. When I first saw that, and I saw just how you could have a lobby, one lobby with all these different players, and they're all doing different things in the single lobby. I think that is amazing. It's a really good achievement for online games. I like that. I wish more games would adopt something similar to that. It's really, really interesting. The only thing I will say about it, though, that I dislike is the fact that sometimes it can take a long time for you to finally get into a battle or a match or V-ball or whatever, because you don't actually get to pick anything. Your character, your head is just basically floating there on the menu for a while, and then it eventually will connect with one of the players in the lobby, and it's like, oh, now you're randomly doing 2v2 V-ball. It's like, okay, like, that's all cool and everything, but again, they already said there's going to be updates throughout after the game comes out, so definitely it's something they can patch on. I can see them improving on it with patches. I can definitely see that. And again, I'm not judging the game for all this, because again, it's a beta, it's a demo, it's a stress test server thing, what have you. it's not going to be the full game, obviously. It's just so it's like there's a lot of stuff that we obviously didn't see with the game. I mean, there's 3 other characters we didn't get to use, plus a ton of different modes like the hoops mode, you know, plus all the different arms, all the different stages. There's so much of the game we haven't seen on a playable level yet. So again, I'm not knocking it for that. The Pro Controller, going back to the controls, the Pro Controller I really like. I really enjoyed using it. It was a lot easier to use. I will say the button mapping it's good, but at the same time I hope in the final game that we can at least customize the button mapping. I mean, if not, it's not bad. Like, it's not a bad control scheme. It just, I would like to customize it and make it better for me, if you will. I do, I guess, again, it took a little bit getting used to, because when you do that, A and B are actually your two different arms. A controls one, B controls the other. X is your jump, Y is your sidestep or dodge or what have you. So it's like I would like to be able to map the buttons, like for example, map the different curving of the punches to like the right analog stick, for example, and be able to map my punches to the L and R or the ZL and ZR buttons. That way I can free up the the face buttons for simply jumping and dodging. Like, that's something I would like to do. And again, like I said, I'm not judging the game for that, because we may be able to do that in the final game. Again, it's just a demo. They're not going to give us everything in this demo, you know what I mean? So, and again, like, they could always patch it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who are going to want different control schemes as well, because a lot of fighting games let you do that. A lot of fighting games let you at least customize the control scheme, or at least offer you different, you know, options or what have you. So it's something that I really hope we'll get, because I'd like to customize it. If you can't, oh well. The current control scheme, like I said, is still pretty good. It just took me a minute to be like get used to. But like I said, with a more customizable one, I could streamline it more to my taste. So here's hoping. And yeah, there's not really much else to talk about. It's really fun. I love it, and it's like I said, it's great. I cannot wait for the final game. There's so much going into this game, and with the depth of the combat, what they're doing, they took a concept as simple as springable arms and really fleshed it out, and I give props to Nintendo for that. Like I said, there are some problems, lots of learning curves here, and like I said, there are some things that I feel that could be improved on. So yeah, but all in all, I think this was definitely a success. There's a lot of people that I've seen have jumped on board for the game that were unsure about it before. Yeah, I love the game. Like I said, I can't wait for the full game. Let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments below, and as always, I will catch you later.